everybody. Let me turn off my music here for a second. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys all so much for being here today. My name is Haley. Let me put on gallery view so I can see all of your lovely faces. My name is Haley, and I am the creator of Five Steps to Alignment. And essentially, it is a program that helps starseeds overcome fear, stagnation, and lack of direction in their life to vibrationally align to their soul's purpose. And so today I have a free little workshop for you guys because my purpose is everything. The fact that you guys are here tells me that you guys have higher goals, a higher calling that you guys want to pursue and see through. And so my gift to you is to give you this abundance of information, guys. Like, I mean, abundance of information. So I am recording this, so I will post it on YouTube and also in Light Beings if you're a part of my Light Beings group. And also I will email it out via email so that you guys can listen to this again should you decide that you got something from it and you like it. Awesome. So
Okay.
first, what I'd like to do is actually, Sandy, I'm gonna ask you to go on mute. I got you. Um, but anyway, so first I'd like to start with setting an intention. So we're gonna talk a little bit about this today, but I want you guys to just close your eyes and put your hands on your heart and set an intention. What is it that you are looking to gain today? What is it? What is the nugget that you require to really propel you forward? How will you know when you received that clarity? What does it feel like to receive that clarity, that knowing, that validation that you really are on the right path, no matter the struggles before you? And I'm just going to do a basic energy clearing so that you are a clear channel to receive whatever it is that you are meant to receive today. So all you have to do is say yes, should you choose to receive it. So I'm just going to ask that everybody is cleared of psychic hooks, psychic cords, psychic attachments that are ready to be released fully and completely at 100% right now. If that is okay, please say yes.
Yes.
And Jason, I'm going to ask you to be on mute too. But that's good. That's good. I'm glad you said yes. Um, and then I'm also going to ask that any limiting beliefs, patterns, behaviors, and habits that would prevent you from experiencing this in its full capacity and your full capacity, that it be released, they be released, severed, alchemized, and transmuted into the light for to be repurposed. If that is okay, please say yes. And I'm just going to ask that everything else that's worrying you, that's concerning you, anything that's left to the unknown, leaving you with feelings of uncertainty and doubt, that those all be placed on the backboard for this moment, knowing that there's a possibility that you can and will find clarity today. If that is okay, please say yes. And then I'm also going to ask that your highest divine light and consciousness be integrated, downloaded into you on all aspects, all levels. So on a cellular level, on a cellular DNA level, on a mitochondrial DNA level, on all physical and non-physical blueprints, and then on and all contracts as well. So the highest and best, most divine version of you is activated, integrated now. If that is okay, please say yes. And that you know how to feel this highest and best, most divine version of yourself. You know when to, you know what it feels like to, and you allow this integration and awakening to be the new lens, the new filter, your new state of being from here on out in this new lunar year of the dragon and there every moment thereafter. If that is okay, please say yes. All right, I'm just going to ask that anything else that Creator has for you to be downloaded with, or healed, or transmuted, or alchemized at this time, that it be done now fully and completely at 100% on all aspects and on all levels. If that is okay, please say yes. Okay, beautiful. Right on, guys. I'm so excited for today. Yes, Maggie, I'm so excited for today. So I wanted to talk briefly about the Year of the Dragon. So I'm going to want to talk about briefly about the Year of the Dragon, and then also the numerology and the energy for 2024. And then we're going to take a look at, today we're going to talk about why you may have lost momentum on your goals. Okay, we're going to talk about why you might have lost momentum on your goals, how to get it back, and how to sustain it. Now, when we talk about these things, I wanted to come through a filter or a lens of self-love and self-compassion, because we are so easy to be hard on ourselves that we forget that when we're hard on ourselves and we're butting against our own heads, we're creating our own resistance. Okay, so everything that is shared with you today is meant to be for observation and education purposes, so that you can move forward with your day, with this new year, with more alignment, with more certainty, with more compassion, and more momentum. Okay, so first let's briefly talk about the Year of the Dragon. So the Year of the Dragon is all about transformation. And there's something I want to say about transformation, okay? Transformation is described as beautiful, but in the moment when you're amidst it, sometimes it can feel like hell. Sometimes it can feel very dense. It can feel like you're breaking. But in that breaking, you're actually getting stronger, because think about it. Think about the way muscles are built, right? When you're at the gym and you're lifting or you're running, the muscles need to break in order to get stronger. That's exactly what's happening with you in transformation. So this year is also about finding your strength. Where do we find our strength? Amidst the transformation, amidst the density, amidst the darkness, right? Facing our quote unquote shadow, or facing those darker, more dense, fearful, stagnant parts of ourselves. This is also the year of bringing your dreams into reality. Okay, so, and this will go hand in hand with the 2024, but in the year number 8, but this is the opportunity to bring your dreams in reality. And so my goal for you here today is that you leave having all of the knowledge and wisdom, intelligence and self-belief and self-empowerment to make sure that you can bring your dreams into reality. And this is all about renewal and new beginnings, right? So like a rebirthing process. If we think about birth in the actual 3D reality, right? Sometimes it is painful. It's painful. I actually accidentally had to deliver my second one without an epidural. So the rebirthing process is not meant to hurt you. It is stripping away all of the things that you are not, so that you can embody and be who you are destined to be. All of the old programming from society, from your parents, from other authority figures, we're releasing all of that, and it comes with this emergence of a new version of you. So now the year 2024, it is new. The number in numerology is obviously 8, right? So this is a year of abundance. And guys, I want to do a money training in a few weeks, but abundance is not just money. Whoever made it a rule that abundance equals money was trying to keep us limited. Right now, you guys have an abundance of knowledge and information that is about to be dropped into your lap. You won't even know what hit you. So take notes, okay? But we have an abundance of love in our life. We have an abundance of health in our life. We have an abundance of opportunity in our life. So when you focus on abundance, you receive more of it, right? Also prosperity. So technically this is equal to money and finances, right? So we have the opportunity with the Year of the Dragon and working towards transformation and bringing dreams into reality and renewal, a renewal of our prosperity, a renewal of our definition definition of our prosperity, a renewal of how we receive prosperity, or what limiting beliefs are preventing us from receiving prosperity. This is all about balance. This is the year of harvest. So this year, 2024, your manifestations will match your efforts this year. So how much energy, focus, and will that you put into what you're working towards and towards your goals is going to be a mere reflection of what you receive, even if you don't feel like you're receiving it in the moment. Okay? So, I want to know, I know most of you have your camera off and that's fine, but how many of you had a New Year's resolution that they have given up on or feel like they are losing momentum? For those of you who have camera on,
Yeah.
raise your hand. Yeah. Here, Jason, I'm gonna mute you again. Right on, Renee. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys feel safe having your cameras on, I would love that because I love to see everybody's faces and interact. But I understand not everybody wants to do that. So,
Haley, Haley,
yes.
it's Kristen. It keeps saying I'm in safe driving mode and it won't let me do my camera, but I'm at home. I don't know so I would turn it on. I just don't know how.
Okay, that's fine. Hey,
Okay,
Kristen,
great.
so
Hi,
happy to see you here.
you too.
Yes. So, let's talk about why. Okay, like I said, there's going to be a lot of information today. I am just going to keep talking and you guys just capture what you can. Okay, so there are 4 reasons why we lose momentum or we give up on our dreams. Okay, so the first one is the reason why we do or do not something is one of 2 things. Okay, thank you, Boone. So good to see you here too. The reason why we do or do not do something is because of one of 2 things. Either our belief in it, whether we believe it's possible for us, whether we believe it's worth our time and energy, whether we believe that we are capable of it. And the second one is our why. Do we have a strong why it must happen? Do we have a strong reason why it has to be a certain way? Why it must show up at our door? Why we must be successful? Okay, so if you are struggling with keeping the momentum or have already given up on a dream, it's either one of those 2 things, your belief in it and your reason why. So I just want to take a moment of reflection for a second. So I want you to close your eyes and think about, what do you believe? So in relation to your goals, in relation to what you're doing, we're taking mild inventory here, just a little bit of inventory. What do you believe about yourself in relation to your goals? Do you believe that you're capable? Do you not believe you're capable? Do you feel you're worthy and deserving? Do you not believe you're worthy and deserving? Do you feel like you're going to have to work your ass off just to get it? Or do you believe that it can come to you in flow, creativity, and positivity? What are your beliefs around your goal and about you in relation to your goal? If you have to take a moment to jot that down, I would jot that down. And so then we're going to move on because I would love to keep this as tight as possible because I don't want to keep you guys for too long. But our another reason is our why. So just connect to your why. Why is it so important for this goal to be successful? Why is it so important for this goal to materialize in your 3D reality? And then when you think about it, your goal, is your why stronger than anything else in your life? Is it stronger than your comfort zone? Is it stronger than your fears? Is it stronger than your doubts? Is it stronger than your circumstances? If any of those are a no, that's why you're finding a little bit of struggle. Again, we're looking at this through a lens of education and self-empowerment. This is not to hurt you. This is to empower you. Because if these are all unconscious things that are hanging back here, that's why you're butting up against the fence. That's why you're losing momentum or giving up. Okay, so this is for you to take inventory so that you can skyrocket yourself. So all these things come from the subconscious mind forward, which is actually what we're leading into next. So number two, another reason why we give up or we lose momentum is because of the subconscious mind. I know that every spiritual guru and neuroscientist and all this stuff talks about the subconscious mind, and I'm not here to regurgitate BS. Okay, everything that I'm saying to you is a lead by example experience. So, this is how your goals, your dreams, your manifestations are related to your subconscious mind. So, our subconscious mind is hardwired for survival, right? And everything that you live and exist in right now is because you have some sort of, it keeps you safe somehow, right? It keeps you safe somehow. What the way it's the whether it's the things that you think and feel about yourself, the things that you say about yourself, the way that you relate to money or finances, the way that you relate to health, the way that you relate to your dream, it's all in the subconscious framework. Now, the reason why this is important is I've came across this one quote. This is not mine, but it did change my life. And that is, you cannot outperform an image that you have of yourself in your subconscious mind. Okay, I'll say that again. You cannot outperform an image that you have of yourself in your subconscious mind. So, what does that mean? When you close your eyes and you think about who you are in relation to your goal, not visualizing you being in your goal, but who you are right now in relation to your goal. Everything that is within the framework and how you think and feel and perceive about yourself, that is the framework. And those are all, that image of yourself is exactly why you are unconsciously creating the reality that you are right now. Does that make sense? So, there's stability in predictability, even if we don't like it. And the subconscious wants stability because in stability, there's safety. With safety, there's higher levels of survival. That's why a lot of us feel really uncomfortable around change because there's unknown, there's uncertainty. And with that uncertainty, all of our red flags go up because it lessens, quote unquote, our chances of survival. When actually, that's exactly what we need to do, think, and feel, be uncomfortable, be uncertain, so that we can stretch ourselves and actually receive what we want. So, if number two, like I said, if you're struggling with keeping up the momentum, or really if you've given up on your goal, take a look at what the image that you have of yourself in your subconscious mind is. Now, number three, another reason why, is that we are not taking action and we are not conditioning a new way of thinking and being. So, yes, in the universe, in manifestation, we want flow, we want creativity, we don't want resistance, right? However, by not taking action, you are actually causing your own resistance because this is a co-creating experience. We are meant to participate. Co-create means working together, cooperating, co-collaborating, right? So we must be taking action and intelligent action towards our goals. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And conditioning. So conditioning, just the way that an athlete would condition his body for a race, for a whatever have you, you must be conditioning your mind to think and feel the way that you want to think and feel. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this in a lighter fashion with meditation and doing his reprogramming meditations, right? We must be consciously choosing to condition a new state of being, a new way of thinking. And I will talk about how we're going to do that in just a second.
Can
So,
I
yeah.
just say, so when you're talking like the subconscious and then the conscious mind, I'm reading a book by Dr. Ski Chilton. It's called The Rewired Brain. And it talks about how our system one, which is our subconscious, how it's constantly in overdrive if we've had traumatic experiences in childhood or even, in teenage years, and how to switch, just a tiny little thinking to turn it all around, which goes along with the book I just read before, which was Atomic Habits. and how to change, a bad habit with just doing little habit stacking is what he calls it. Just little things throughout the day that will help you to switch that story in your subconscious.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, and I go into that in detail here, but that's exactly right. So it doesn't have to be this big, grandiose thing. It's this, it's making a conscious choice. We're going to talk about learning and unlearning here in a little bit. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's all of those, because if you think about it, guys, there are multiple gears that move a clock, right? There's multiple gears that move a clock. So the more that you are changing, the more that you're taking all of those micro actions or those little actions, you're shifting the hands on the clock, right? And so it's not just conditioning, it's not just the subconscious mind, it's not just our beliefs, it's not just our why, it's all of those things encompassed that get the clock moving. The question that you should be asking yourself during your time here is, which one of those gears needs the oiling? Which one of those gears needs the attention, right? So the last one is that most of us don't stick around long enough to see the results. Most of us don't stick around long enough to see the results. Guys, the steepest part of the mountain, so we're here to climb a mountain, right? Our goals, our purpose, whatever it is that we're here for, the steepest part of the climb in the mountain is when you're first beginning, because you're first getting yourself out of the circumstance, situation, thought patterns, and behaviors that you're presently in. So you're working a little bit against decades of old ways of thinking and being. So I like to refer to this as a whirlpool example, right? So we have a whirlpool. Think about a circular pool, right? And the current is going one way. Now, when are we met with the most resistance in changing the current? At the initial decision to change the current, right? When we initially decide it's time to change the current, we're met at the most resistance. We get pushed back. We have to continue fighting through it. And then eventually it gets a little easier. And then it gets a little easier. And then it keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. And that's just your new way of being and thinking. But the toughest part is at the beginning, which is why most give up, which is why most don't ever see their goals through. Because they're like, this is too hard. I'm not changing anything. To me, success is choosing to continue when you'd rather not. Success is giving or saying, being relentless and saying, this is showing up at my door. Guys, it is impossible to fail if you never give up. If you never give up, success, your goals, your dreams has no choice but to show up at your door. You must be relentless. And this doesn't have to come from a place of force or fear or scarcity. It can come from a space of love, creativity, and flow. But you must be relentless. Success, your dream has no choice to show up at your door. So, I have a question for you. Where has your focus been since January? Has your focus been in all the ways that it's not working? Has your focus been on all of the BS? Has your focus been on all of the reasons why it's not going to work? Or has your focus been on all the reasons why it is working? All the reasons why you're already amazing and you're already doing it. All of the reasons why it is actually already happening. Where has your focus been? Have an honest conversation with yourself. So, now, there are what I would say about, in my perception, in creating my own dream, in living my own purpose, there are 6 areas that need addressing, okay? And some may require attention. Others might, like some, maybe all of them require attention. Maybe it's only in 1 or 2 areas. So please use your discernment. And make sure, guys, we're having an honest conversation with ourselves. If we can't take a look at what's not working, then we will not be able to move forward. Okay, we have to take a look at where we're incongruent. We have to take a look at what's not working. It's not meant to make us feel bad about ourselves. Again, it's being an observer. It's like collecting data on ourselves, okay? We're collecting data. That's all it is. So, the first one, and one of actually all of these are my favorite topic, but the first one where you might be selling yourself short is your routine. Okay, your routine. Are you setting your day up for success? You guys already have a routine anyway, even if you don't think you have a routine. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I had a routine, I'd been like, no, I don't have a routine. I had a routine. It was just an unroutine routine. Okay, so are you setting your day up for success? So, whatever your brain gets dopamine from first thing in the morning, that is what your body will crave the rest of the day. Okay? So, if the first thing that you do is open your phone to scroll, then automatically your brain is going to be hungry for scrolling the rest of the day. If you turn on the TV right away, your brain is going to be hungry for that television stimulation. Okay? So whatever your brain gets dopamine from first thing in the morning, that is what your body will crave the rest of the day. So what are you doing first thing in the morning that is actually limiting you? One of the first things I do in the morning is I do gratitude practice. Don't get me wrong, I wake up super early in the morning, so I do look at my phone, not to scroll, but just to look at my phone for the blue light filter because that wakes me up. But I don't stay there. I don't linger on the phone. I practice my gratitude work, but really, I practice my gratitude work before I open my eyes. Before I open my eyes in the morning, I'm thanking Creator for my warm bed. I'm thanking Creator for having the love of my life next to me every single morning. I'm thanking Creator for the health of my kids. Thanking Creator because I get to help some amazing spiritual badass souls today, right? Gratitude. So that is what my brain will then seek out throughout the day. So we want to get ourselves into a peak state. We want to get ourselves into a peak state because when we are at a peak state, when we are in gratitude, when we are in flow, when we are in creativity, when we are in surrender, when we are in play, that is when we can receive divinely channeled information. Because as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, you cannot think beyond what you feel. So if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling dense, okay, then you cannot receive information outside of that. Your nervous system cannot receive information that is outside of that state of being. Okay, so we must get ourselves into a peak state in the morning. It is an act of self-love. So, some suggestions. What I have seen work, what I have done and seen other successful people do that work, some of my clients that I've seen do in works, is first one is mind conditioning. So listening and hearing things that talk about where you want to go, listening to music and lyrics that talk about the things that you want. If you're out there and your goal is to find love, then listen to songs about love, not betrayal, not lack of trust. If you're looking to live in your soul's purpose, then listen to songs that talk about success, wealth, fulfillment, happiness, right? If you're looking to earn more money, then listen to music and songs. Well, first of all, listen to music that talks healthily about money because there's an unhealthy way to think and perceive money. But listen to people who are already making money and collect their beliefs that are high vibrational, collect their stories and their attitudes around money that is in light. Okay, so mind conditioning, what are you listening to? Because guys, the thing is you're being programmed to think something and feel something anyway. Whatever you're listening to in music is already generating an emotion within you. Whatever you're listening to, such as the news, it's getting you into a state of fear anyway. So be specific about what you consume. This is like the most effortless way, guys, to condition yourselves to get to where you want to go. Like the most effortless. It's just a choice to turn on something empowering on YouTube rather than turning on the news, right? It's about choosing to listen to successful people rather than to listen to people at the bar talk about how life is shit. Okay, it's really that simple. Yes, I do cuss. It would be inauthentic if I didn't. So the second thing, so the second thing after the mindset conditioning is movement. Now, we don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the gym and lift weights and blah blah. That's what I love to do, but that's not what you have to do. Movement in the body, the mind body is connected. When your body is fluid, your mind is fluid. So that could be something like qigong, that could be something like yoga, that could be something like stretching, that could be something like walking. But move your body. Not only is it healthy for your body and the lactic acid buildup that's in there, but when you are fluid with your body, then your mind is fluid too. Movement, movement, movement. Now heart centering. Heart centering. Now, this is what I do. I connect to my purpose every single day. And this is what I would call heart centering. So I close my eyes every day. I close my eyes and put my hands on my heart and I connect to my dream, my purpose, what it feels like to be changing people's lives, what it's like to hear them saying, oh my gosh, I was in this predicament and now I'm feeling elated. Now I'm feeling like I can overcome anything. Now those people are no longer interfering with my energy. Now I'm an amazing empath. Now I'm generating money. Now I am living in my purpose. Okay? Are you doing heart centering? Are you placing your focus and your heart set in the right place? Because your heart is going somewhere anyway. It could be going to stress. It could be going to anxiousness. It could be going to all of these things. Now, I understand that this is all fun to talk about and it's completely different to implement. I understand that. I understand that. But the conversation needs to be had. So heart centering, getting into your heart, doing something productive. Now, this could be in the mindset, this could be in the mind conditioning, this could be in the movement, this can be in the heart centering. But if you start your day with feeling like you are productive, then you feel like you got the world at your fingertips. Are you setting yourself up to have a good day? Are you taking care of yourself to have a successful, fulfilling, aligned, creative, fluid day? And then the last thing is, but really it should have been the first thing, is the gratitude work. And guys, I'm not talking about this BS like, oh, I'm just going to check it off a box. I did my gratitude work today. No, it is about being there and actually taking the time to feel it. It's not a, see, spirituality, guys, is not about yoga. It's not about meditation. It's not about connecting to your guides. It's not about any of those things. Spirituality is who you are being while you're doing those things. So if you're doing yoga and thinking that you're spiritual, but you're still in a place of anxiousness and anxiety, then you're just simply having a band-aid and you're not spiritual because you do yoga. You're spiritual because of the interconnected relationship that you have with yourself and source. Being able to find the lessons, being able to connect and see the bigger picture, being able to have gratitude for all the things that you have and all the things that there are and all the things that there are not. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude is healing for the body. I will not go into the science about that right now, but gratitude is healing for the body. Gratitude gives you, it opens you up. It's one of the highest frequencies here in this reality. So when you're in a space of gratitude, you are open to receiving miracles. I understand that a lot of you might be in a predicament. I understand that most of you might feel like you're not in a good place. But there's always something to be grateful for. If I told you that you have a choice between earning $5 million a year every single year and choosing between that and your eyesight, which would you choose? Your eyesight. So be grateful. What if you never got to see your husband or wife again? What if you never got to see your children again? What if you never got to really taste food? What if you didn't have any teeth and you had to eat a burger through a straw? You not, as far as I know, none of you guys are on oxygen right now. Why aren't we grateful for that? We always have something to be grateful for. And until we harness gratitude, we will not have more to be grateful for because it is what we're unconsciously creating. Again, where's your focus? So many people want success, right? But not structure. So many people want change in their lives, but they are not willing to apply structure in order to get it. So many people want joy and happiness, but aren't willing to let go of the habits, beliefs, and patterns that keep them unhappy. Part of it goes with it's familiar. It's a familiar state of being. We talk about that here too. Like I said, guys, you're gonna be hit with it today. But do you get what I'm saying here? So the number one thing that should and could take a look at addressing is your morning routine. The second one is your identity. Okay. Now, I promise this is not regurgitated Tony Robbins coaching BS. I would not be sharing this with you if it would not change your life. If you take all of this seriously and you implement it, there is no way your life couldn't change. I promise. You have to take my word for it, but I freaking promise, okay? So identity are the associations that you have about yourself. We'll go through an exercise so you can see what I'm talking about. Identity is the associations that you have about yourself. It is the way that you think and feel about yourself. So again, this part is not mine. This is from Ed Milet, but I think it's a brilliant way to convey the importance of an identity and how it is contributing to the way that you create your reality. So your identity is the thermostat of your life. So let's say that in your goals, because we're here to talk about goals, in your goals, you're like a 65 degreeer, right? Out of 120. Okay, let's say you're a 65 degreeer. So it doesn't matter what the external circumstances around you, like even in this room, even in my office, the temperature is probably set for 70 degrees, but outside it's snowing. So it's probably like 20 or 30 degrees, right? So it does not, yes, there will be a replay. Yeah, there will be a replay, Renee. Yes. Where did you hear of me? Were you an email or were you on Light Beings?
Huh. I'm an email.
Oh,
Sorry, I couldn't press the right button. Just it was
that's okay.
horrible.
That's okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to send it out I'm going to post this on YouTube on an unlisted link, and then you guys will
Perfect.
have access to this. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you this year.
Yes, thank you very much. You as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
So,
Bye bye.
yes.
Oh,
So, like I was saying, it doesn't matter what the external circumstances are going on out there because the temperature of the room is going to stay the same. That is your identity. So if you're a 65 degree, or let's just say in money and finances, you're not where you want to be. Now, let's say something happens and you get a boatload pour in. But if you're, even though the external circumstances have changed, you're still a 65 degreer because you have not upgraded your identity. So something's going to happen where you have to give your money away, or the car broke down and you have to fix that, or something health related come up and you need to invest in that, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if we do not upgrade, and I'll talk about how to do this, but if we do not upgrade the associations that we have with the things that we interact with and engage with in our life, then we're always going to create the same circumstances. We're always going to create the same things. So upgrading your identity. So actually first I want to just take a little inventory. I'm going to do like the 4 main parts of life. So if you just close your eyes, if you want to write this down, I'd recommend it. But let's just do the identity that you have with yourself. How do you identify yourself? Those I am statements, do you say to yourself all the time, I am powerful or I am not enough? Do you say to yourself, I am unstoppable or I am going through a hard time? What are those regular I am statements that you say about yourself? That's associated and connected with your identity. Now, money. What is your identity to money? Does money flow to you freely and effortlessly with grace and ease? Or is money a stickler? Do you believe in money? Or do you believe that money is evil? Do you believe that you can just receive money on a flip of a dime? Or do you feel like you have to work hard to receive money? Now, love and relationships. What is your identity to love and relationships? Are you lovable or do you hate people? Do you embrace new relationships and opportunities or do you like to just keep it to your inner circle? Do you believe that you are contributing as much as you can in your relationships, or do you only do enough to get by because it's too much effort? What about in your purpose, in your goals? What is your identity to your goals? Are you doing enough? Do you feel like you're doing enough, or do you already want to give up? Maybe you don't have clarity on what exactly your goals are or what your purpose is. How does that make you think and feel about yourself, the fact that you don't have clarity? Does it make you feel bad about yourself? Does it make you feel lost? Does it make you feel uncertain and not valuable, unworthy? See, guys, taking mild inventories like these are very helpful so that you know where you are, because if you don't know where you are, things can't change. I am the only person in your life who is willing to have a hard conversation with you. Promise. So, based on that, here's how you upgrade your identity. Okay? Understand it's easier said than done. None of this means anything if you're not applying it. It means absolutely nothing if you're not applying it. Nothing. So the first way to upgrade an identity is your associations. Okay? Show me who you hang out with and I'll show you who you are. If you're trying to generate wealth and you're hanging out with broke people, what are you going to create? If you're trying to upgrade your health and you're hanging around unhealthy people, what are you going to create? You can't speak butterfly language to caterpillar people. Are you a butterfly hanging out with caterpillar people? No judgment on them. To each their own. They have different dreams, different goals than you, different belief systems than you. We're not here to compare, but I'm talking about you and where you are going. The associations and the people that you connect with are a direct reflection of where you're going to be in the next 5 years. You can have a choice, Maggie. You can change it. You can change it. And understand that not everybody has access to new people all the time, but it also is connected to who you're listening to. You also have a choice. You could say, I'm not going there with those people doing those things anymore, because that's not where I'm going anymore. If you're working a 9 to 5 and then you go to the bar after your 9 to 5 and you're sitting in a group of people who talk about how the boss sucks, how is that helping you? At all? If you're with the spiritual community and they're talking about how being tested by the universe sucks, what is that going to get you? What is that going to get you? You're being unconsciously programmed to think and feel something anyway. So it's time to choose what we're going to program ourselves with. Now, associations, again, talk about where you're going. Do you want to look at tests from the universe as a gift rather than it sucks? Would you rather be wealthy and have money flow to you freely and effortlessly? Would you rather be in a room with other purpose-driven people who are going the same place that you are? at grand scales. When you connect with those people automatically and unconsciously, it raises the degree of your identity. So you're no longer a 65er, you're an 80-degreeer. And then when you elevate that much, when you see people who are down at 65 degrees, you're like, oh no, I can't go there anymore. I know what that reality is like, and I refuse to go down that road. And you keep yourself at 80. And then when you're at 80, you find people who are at 120 so that you can be at 120. Okay? Now, the second thing is, again, what are you consuming? What type of media are you consuming? Don't get me wrong. I love watching things like Star Wars and Doctor Who and all of those fun things. But are those things actually getting me anywhere? No. We're spending too much time on streaming services or scrolling through social media, and it's sucking up our time, it's sucking up our energy, and it doesn't take us anywhere. And while you're on there and listening to things, are you listening to things and looking and reading things that are empowering? Or are you listening and reading to things that are disempowering to where you're going? I know, this is a little uncomfortable, right? It's a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation. But what are you consuming? Also, food-wise. We all know it doesn't feel good to have Burger King, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Panda Express. We all know it doesn't feel good to eat certain foods, and sometimes we do it anyway. Are we taking care of ourselves? It's an act of self-love, and not self-love that's talked about and sitting in a bathtub and miraculously all of a sudden you love yourself. That's not how this works. That's BS. Self-love is a different conversation. Maybe I'll do another free training for that. And then the last one is your confidence. The next one is your confidence, and I'll go into that on a deep level. But I want you to take note of this, okay? You don't get what you want. You get your standards. You don't get what you want. You get your standards. And so if you take a look at the standards that you're living with now, what does that say about your identity and what you think you're worth and what you think your value is? This is a facet that needs to be upgraded and changed. And again, we got to stick around long enough to see the external world change. The only thing that we have to overcome in this reality, guys, is this, because this creates everything. And we must be so resilient that it doesn't matter how the external world is or is not changing around us. If we believe fully in here and with this that things are changing, then they will change. They have no choice but to change. It will happen. You just have to stick around long enough and stay committed long enough to see it through, see it happen. This is the only thing we have to overcome in our minds, because this is what creates everything. This is what creates everything. This is where our identity is. This is where our thoughts, feelings, and emotions are. This is where our subconscious mind is. All of these things that we must overcome. Overcome is the wrong word, but upgrade in order for our 3D reality to upgrade. Okay? Now let's talk about confidence. Okay? So confidence is, and again, this is not regurgitated BS. I don't waste my time, guys. I don't waste my time. If this was not something that wasn't going to change your life, I would not be sharing it with you. I promise. So your confidence, that is the belief in oneself, your ability to do it. Some people have different thresholds for that, right? Some people just are naturally confident and they can go out there and they can just do it, even if they mess up, right? Now, others, there's a little bit of a stronger threshold there, right? Where they need more certainty. They need more evidence as to why it's possible for them, right? So here are 4 ways to build your confidence naturally, organically, and really undeniably if you actually implement these. So the first one is that you keep the promises that you make to yourself. You follow through. I don't care if it's as simple as folding the laundry or if it's as big as making sure you get to the DMV that day. You follow through. Maybe you have a nightly routine where you wash your face every night and you're like, I am so tired, I don't want to do this. You do it anyway because you feel better about yourself after you've pushed yourself a little bit. See, there's a fragmentation process that takes place when we know we should be doing something and we're not. It fragments our soul. It fragments our self-trust. It fragments our self-love. So it's not even about doing the thing. It's not even about washing your face at night or taking out the garbage when you don't want to or choosing to eat a strawberry instead of a French fry. It's not even about the thing that we're doing. It's about the fact that we're showing up for ourselves and making a better choice. That's what ultimately matters. It's not about the thing. It's about the choice to take care of ourselves and choose our long-term satisfaction over instant gratification. Follow through on your word, even if you don't feel like it. We never feel like it. The second part to building confidence is to do the things you don't like doing with care and pride. You do the things that you don't like doing with care, with pride. Maybe you hate doing the dishes, but man, those dishes are going to be spotless. And you're going to blow some people's minds with how good you do those dishes. Like, holy shit, do you love doing the dishes? No, I hate it. But I'm going to do it to the best of my ability because it's not about the dishes, it's about the way that I am showing up for myself in my life. Excellence is a habit. Excellence is a habit. You want an excellent life? Live excellently. You want a life that you're grateful for? Start living in gratitude now. The third one is the power of one more. Again, this is not mine, this is Ed Milet. But he talks about the power of one more. Now, he's a fitness coach. And so he talks about like one more rep, one more minute on the treadmill, one more run of this, all of those things. But what about in our inner work? What if we just did one more meditation? What if we just did one more energy clearing? What if we did one more minute of visualization? What if we did one more minute of our walk? What if we did one more minute of our gratitude work? That's good, Boone. I'm happy to hear that. The power of one more meditation, one more minute in visualization, maybe one more time to visualize. And guys, visualization doesn't have to take up 15 minutes. After I'm done and finish at the gym, I sit in my car and I close my eyes for maybe 3 minutes. And I visualize and I'm grateful for all of the things that are already occurring in my life. And I'm grateful for all of the things that are going to occur. And I put myself there at the finish line, visualizing what it feels like to hit my goals, to visualize what it feels like to know that I'm on my purpose, living my purpose, and that I am helping people doing it. I mean, guys, how often do you vision? How often do you connect to your purpose or your goals every day? Probably not often. Otherwise, you wouldn't be losing momentum. You wouldn't be giving up. You need more focus on where you're going. It's time to start making decisions based on where you're going, not where you have been. The last of the third one, build confidence, is get yourself dressed. I know that sounds crazy, but get yourself dressed. If you think about it, when you go out to a night on the town, whether it be with friends, whether it be with your spouse or partner, when you get all dressed up, you have this glow about you you can't deny. You feel good about yourself because doing that is a form of self-care. Taking the time to do your hair, if you like to wear makeup, taking the time to do your makeup, you glow differently when you take care of yourself. And again, it's not about the outfit, it's not about the makeup, and it's not about the hair. It's about the intentional effort that was given to you because you care about yourself. I'm not saying don't have lazy days. I definitely have lazy days. But when I know I gotta show up to save the world, I fucking put on my superwoman cape and I do my hair and I do my makeup and I get my best outfit on so I can crush it. Get yourself dressed. Yes, thank you, Maggie. Get yourself dressed. You will show up differently the rest of the day. I promise. Hmm. Last two things I want to say about confidence. We still have a little bit to go, guys, so hang in there with me. Like I said, a lot of information today, okay? No. But I would say maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes more at the most. Okay, I promise I will keep it tight. I could talk about this stuff all day, every day without food or water. So, yes. So, with confidence, you don't get down on what others say about you. You get down on what you say about you. You get down on what you say about you. So yeah, some other people might say some really awful things, but it's only you that believes them to be true. And then ultimately, who's reaffirming what they're saying? You are. You don't get down on what others say about you. You get down on what you say about you. Okay, keep that in mind. And guys, the only way out is through. Just do the thing. Just do it. Don't negotiate. Don't, because when you negotiate, you're negotiating the results that you get. Don't negotiate, just effing do it. You will feel better when it's done. Always you do. So, three more things in relation to what needs to be addressed. I will keep it tight from here on out because I know that I can get passionate. The fourth one is our patterns. Okay, our patterns. And our patterns are connected to our 6 human needs. And I'll explain those to you and what they are, and then we'll take another inventory. So, we have 6 basic foundational human needs. We have a need for certainty and stability. We have a human need for variety, spontaneity, right? We want to know that our paycheck's going to be the same, but also, hey, let's go on a weekend vacation, right? Certainty and variety. We also have a human need for significance, feeling important, feeling seen, feeling heard. We have a human need for love and connection, a sense of belonging, being connected to a community, feeling like we belong somewhere. We have a human need of growth. We have a human foundational need for growth. We also have a foundational human need for contribution. We want to feel like we're making an impact. We want to feel like we're making a difference. We want to feel like we're contributing to something bigger than ourselves. So we can identify our patterns in these 6 human needs with the emotions that we have. Okay, I'll give you examples and then we'll take inventory. So, what are your regular human emotions, right? So if you just reflect, and we'll go through this in depth, but if you just reflect, do you normally feel stress, fear, anxiousness, scarcity, judgment, resentment, self-loathing, sabotage? Or maybe you feel things like happiness, excitement, thrills, fulfillment, because there's good emotions too, obviously. But if you take a look at things like stress, where does stress come from? A lack of certainty. We're stressing out because there's no predictability. Where does scarcity come in? Again, certainty. Where does judgment come in? In our human need for significance. We want to feel significant, so we judge others. It's an unconscious thing most of the time, but we judge others to make ourselves feel better about ourselves or to validate ourselves or solidify the way that we think and feel. Okay? Excitement and thrills. Sometimes that comes from variety, the human need for variety or love and connection. So, this is why. So, speaking of money and having a wealth mindset, there's somebody that I know personally in my life who came into millions of dollars, but they were used to living on Social Security, right? And so when we think that the thing that we want is the end all be all, like millions of dollars, it's actually not, because she still lives like she lives on Social Security. She's afraid to buy herself things. She's afraid to buy gifts for other people. She's afraid the money is going to burn out because it's not about the money, it's about the mindset. Okay? Even if we find love in our life, if we are not calibrated to experiencing unconditional love, then we will sabotage the relationship. So that's why it's so important to be able to identify our patterns that are encompassed in our 6 human needs so that we can break those patterns. So, because it's not about the circumstances changing, because circumstances change all the time. You're not where you were 2 years ago in ways, but some of you is the exact same as it was 2 years ago. So let's have an honest conversation, like we always do. Judy knows that. So I want you to take inventory. I have 4 questions for you. So number 1, what was the primary emotions you felt over the last 48 hours? The last 2 days, what were the primary emotions that you felt? Was it stress? Was it self-loathing? Was it resentment? Now, question number 2, what human need is that filling? Is it certainty, stability? Is it variety, spontaneity? Is it significance, feeling important? Is it love and connection? Is it growth, or is it contribution? Now, third question, what behavior or choice did you make to fill that human need? Where did you go? What pattern did you go to fill that human need? Was it Netflix? Was it food? Was it scrolling? Was it lashing out? Was it indulging in the self-pity? What was the behavior or choice that you made to fill that human need? And then the last question, what is a healthier way to fill that need? So when you're not feeling significant, what can you do to feel significant? Usually that means being helpful, helping your spouse out, helping somebody out with the groceries as they're leaving the grocery store. Where can you find certainty in your life already? What is already certain? Probably that you're a badass, right? Right? So what is a healthier way to fill that need? Now, okay, I realize that I made this pretty long, so we will cut this short. We'll cut this short, but we'll still cover everything, but we'll cut this short. So the 5th thing that needs addressing is beliefs and our why. our purpose. It's 11:11 here for me, guys. You guys all just heard 11:11, how magical. So, our beliefs and our why. So, my definition of hell on earth is knowing what you are capable of and choosing your doubts and your fears over your dreams. My definition of hell on earth is knowing your destiny, but choosing to play small out of self-preservation. That's good, Maggie. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you found a different way. So those are my definitions of hell on earth. So everybody that I have worked with, everybody that I talk to on the phone, when they come to me and they're feeling disconnected, it's because they're feeling disconnected from their purpose or their how. They're feeling disconnected from their purpose, their higher calling. A person on purpose can do the impossible. They really can. Look at firefighters, right? Do you think that they voluntarily run into a building burning, a burning building? No. They have a huge, massive purpose on the other side. And so there's one thing I want to say about purpose, okay? While it is to be done by you, and while it is to be done through you, it is not about you. You have specific skills, gifts, and abilities. They don't even have to be quote unquote spiritual. You could be really good at math. You could be really good at engineering. Doesn't matter. But your purpose is not about you. It is about the people that you help and the lives that you save whilst in your purpose, whilst achieving your goals. We never think about it, but if we lived in our fullest capacity, think about how the other people how the lives of the other people, think about how the other people's lives would change that we are closest to. Who would benefit from us living in our highest potential and our highest purpose? It's okay if they don't believe you. Your dream wasn't a conference call. It's not meant for everybody to know and see. That's why it's yours. I've lost people doing this. I can kind of read lips. I can't totally read lips, but I want to keep this tight. Okay. But what I'm saying is that you are meant for greater things and you know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call and sitting here for an hour and 15 minutes listening to me. You know that there's a higher calling, a higher purpose on your heart, and it's not about you. When you make it about you, when you make it about your narratives, when you make it about your limitations, you are cutting other people off from what you can give them. You have a responsibility. So now belief. I want to talk about this. So you only need to believe in yourself 51%. And let me tell you why. Okay? Because most of us, if you go in traditional, regurgitated, conventional wisdom, personal development, they're like, you got to believe in yourself 100%. We don't always believe in ourselves 100%. But if you can believe in yourself 1% more than you doubt yourself, that is enough. And then eventually it'll get to 60%. And eventually it will get to 80%. But you won't know until you try. If you can just believe in yourself 1% more than you doubt yourself, you've already won. You already have everything that you need to make your goals come true. So, 6, the last part that needs addressing, the inner work with intent and compassion. Inner work with intent and compassion. So, my definition of intent is being focused with precision and belief. So, we must be precise because we don't go to a restaurant and just order food. When we go to a restaurant, we order it something specific, and then we're specific about how we want it made. If you go to a restaurant and order a salad, do you want the croutons or not? Do you want the dressing on the side or not? Do you like the dressing that it even comes with, or do you want a different dressing? In order for us to really make substantial change, we must be specific about what is blocking us. Because transformation happens in the specifics, not in the general. We have got to be specific. You can say, I'm feeling blocked on money. What about money? Blocked in receiving it or blocking of keeping it? Okay, what is the funnel to that, right? Is it that you don't know how to keep it, or that you just have too many bills floating around? We have to be specific about what's blocking us. And then belief. Again, we must believe that it's possible. We must believe that we can overcome it. We must believe that there is a way out. And so then why compassion? Okay. Without compassion, it is like poking holes in your gas tank. So even if you implemented everything that I said at 100%, you are working on upgrading your identity. You are working on upgrading your confidence. You are putting in the morning routine. But if you're not being compassionate with yourself about these things, then you are being counterproductive. Doesn't matter what you're doing. That's why I say it's not about what you're doing, it's who you're being while you're doing it. It's who you're being while you're doing the things. And our emotions and what we're feeling is a good indicator of who we're being. If we're doing it from a space of force, we're probably feeling a little anxious or uncertain. But if we're doing it from a space of creativity, then we feel flow, we feel presence, we feel peaceful. So who you're being can be determined by the emotions that you're experiencing while you're doing it. And the ultimate goal in whatever we're doing is to upgrade who we are being in that moment. Right? If meditation's not working, try something else. If music has gotten sterile, try something else. If movement has gotten sterile, try something else. Okay? So I want to give this brief example and then we will wrap this up, I promise. Okay? You guys are all troopers. You guys are all troopers. You want to stay? You guys are all troopers. So, actually, I want to just take a drink of water really quick because I've been like projecting. So, think of the spiritual journey like a snowstorm. Okay, you're going from point A to point B. The duration of the journey is the same. So it's going to take the same amount of time with the same amount of circumstances with the same amount of intensity. Okay, now choosing to do the inner work without compassion is like walking through the snowstorm without the snowshoes. Like think of the ones that are like tennis rackets that allow you to walk on top of the snow, right? If you're choosing to do the inner work without compassion and understanding, it is like walking through feet of snow without, I know I didn't say that correctly, but you guys get the concept. Walking through feet of snow without the snowshoes. It makes it harder, it's unnecessary, it's more challenging, it uses more of your energy. However, if we do the inner work with compassion, it is going through the snowstorm with the snowshoes. It's more graceful. It has more ease. It uses less of your energy. Does that make sense? So be compassionate. Because if you're like, guys, self-inflicting negative self-talk, self-inflicting self-pain, self-suffering, that's not going to get you where you want to go. And it's honestly just an addictive behavior. Choose to be compassionate and understanding while also holding yourself accountable to what needs to be changed. Just love yourself through the change. Love yourself through the change. And then I want to give you a really quick tool. Some of you might have heard it before, some of you might have not. And it's called reframing. Reframing what you're going through. It is choosing the truth that you wish to live and see. So, a really great way to reframe something is to ask yourself an intelligent question, which would be, how is this getting closer to my goal? So let's say that you're being hit with bills, and let's say that things are tight. And you ask yourself, how is this getting me closer to my goal? You automatically can reframe what you're going through. How is it getting you closer to your goal? Maybe it's pushing you to do something you've never done in order to have what you've never had. What if we reframed tests from the universe? Oh God, I'm being tested again. The universe is testing me. What if we reframed that and said, wow, the universe loves me enough to hold my feet to the fire so that I can grow and evolve to the divine person I was always meant to be? What if we reframe challenges? That challenges are not telling you that you're not meant to have what you want. That challenges are actually in direct response to where you're going and where you want to go. And that in order for you to be the person that you see on the other side of your vision at the finish line, you must overcome these challenges, because in these challenges, you are being crafted by the divine. So reframing and choosing the highest truth, the most empowering truth that you wish to live and see. Because otherwise, you have a choice to disempower yourself or to actually empower yourself through what you're going through. And it boils down to a choice. One just requires a little more intentional effort. So, wrapping this up, and I shall make this quick. What does it take to win? What does it take to win this year? What does it take to win your goal? Number one, consistency. Yes, that's obvious. I think every personal development coach will tell you that. But what it really takes is obsession. Obsession. Obsession gets a bad rap. It's like, oh, that's a compulsive behavior. Are you obsessed with finding your peace? Are you obsessed with living your dreams and your goals? Are you obsessed with finding the purest, most divine version of you? Are you obsessed? Obsession done in the right way can lead to creativity and flow and inspiration and motivation. Are you obsessed? Because you're obsessing over something anyway, you guys. You're obsessing over something anyway. Whether it be what's not working, why it's not working, what challenges and tests you're going through. You're obsessing over something anyway, so obsess over where you're going and what you're creating and what it's going to feel like when you achieve it, even if it's 5 years later. Okay? Because success takes time. Doesn't happen overnight. Listen to any self-made successful person, and they will tell you they have failed more than they succeeded. Number two, what does it take to win? You pay the price of your dream. And sometimes that's money, sometimes that's not. Paying the price of your dream. If you want to have peace in your life, that means that it costs the price of cutting certain people out of your life and implementing new habits, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and states of being. If you're looking for weight loss, the price of that is choosing to eat healthy and choosing to exercise. If you want to have a new version of you, it is going to come at the price of your comfort and the old version of yourself. There's a cost to everything. There's also a cost to not doing these things, and we'll go end with that. The next thing is that we must have a winner's mindset. A winner's mindset. I know, I can feel you guys. We're getting a little lull here. Just hang with me for just a little bit longer, okay? So the loser, so I don't like some of this language, but it puts things in perspective. So winner's mindset. The losers judge the winners for what they have, right? The winners learn from who is already winning so they can win themselves. Okay? A winner's mindset. So that means you're not in a victim mentality. This, why me? Why does this always happen to me? Why am I being punished? Why does the universe hate me? All of these things. A winner asks, what is this teaching me? How is this getting me closer to my goal? How do I win in this? Got to ask yourself smarter questions, guys. Now, another thing it takes to win, this is number 4, intention. Intention. This is the one thing that you can do that makes everything that you do more powerful. Everything that you do more powerful. And that is intention, okay? So it is not an intellectual process of setting an intention like, oh, I intend to do good. Yeah, that's great. For most part, everybody does, right? Setting a solid intention is being able to see it in your mind's eye and feel it in your heart. And it's before you do anything. It's before you prepare a meal. It's before you make a phone call. It's before you have a difficult conversation with a loved one. It's before you go to the restaurant and you're choosing to have a salad over fries. Okay? So how do you do this? You close, it's like what we did today before we started this conversation. We close our eyes and put our hands on our heart and we say to ourselves, what is my intention for what I'm about to do? And you clearly state the outcome that you want. Is it to choose to love yourself? Is it to choose to find the successes in the day? Is it to choose your goals? What is my intention for what I'm about to do? And then the second question you ask yourself is, how do I want to feel when it's over? How do I want to feel when it's over? Because when you connect to that feeling, it's like it's already done. Because guys, our heart is 5,000 times stronger electromagnetically than our brain. So if we set the intention in our head, that's good and all. But when we can connect to the feeling of what it's going to be like when it's done, we are automatically changing the trajectory of the finish line. We are already manifesting what we want. And it's more solidified in the 3D reality. So, what is my intention for what I'm about to do, and how do I want to feel when it's over? And then also by doing that, you are choosing the state of being that you are going to stay in while you do whatever the thing is. Okay? Last 2 things, and then we will wrap up. So again, I said excellence is a habit. If you want an excellent life, a life you are inspired by, then you must be inspired now. If you want a life that you're grateful for, you must be grateful now. Choose to do everything that you do in the pursuit of your dream with excellence. It doesn't need to be perfect. There's a difference between perfect and excellence. Perfect is an illusion. Nobody's ever perfect. Nobody will ever do anything perfectly. I didn't even do this thing perfectly today. But I did it excellently. Can't tell me otherwise. Recommit. Recommit. Every single day. Sometimes it's moment by moment you are recommitting. Sometimes you will question your sanity in the pursuit of your dream amidst challenges and wonder, is this really what I'm meant to do? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? You recommit. Even if you have to crawl, you recommit and you don't stop. You don't stop. You can, and then the last thing, conditioning and reprogramming. You condition yourself by what you listen to. You condition yourself with visual cues. I have dream boards right here that you guys can't see, but having visual cues all around you, all around your house. Have visual cues. If it's money, if it's income that you want to bring in, what is that? Put post-it notes all around the house. If you want to find the love of your life, put post-it notes all around the house. How often are you visualizing? That's also a way of conditioning. How often are you connecting to your success story? Because guys, the thing is you're telling yourself stories anyway. You're telling stories about why it's not working, why it can't happen, why it's too hard. Choose to connect to your success story. What is going to be your success story next year, the next Lunar New Year? What are you going to be saying about this last year? Connect to your success story and condition, 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 condition. I think I'm going to do another live training in a few weeks about the transcendence triad that I have found to be very helpful in my own manifestation, living my purposes. But anyway, so I want to close with this little exercise because, as I said, I am probably one of the only people in your life who is willing to have the honest, hard conversations with you. Okay? So I want you to take a second and put your hands on your heart and close your eyes. And let's backtrack for a second. Okay? If you started all of these things that I just talked about today 5 years ago, where would you be today? Completely different, right? That time has been lost. I know it's uncomfortable. That time has been lost. You cannot get it back. You cannot get it back. Now, fast forward, okay? Who could you be in 5 years if you actually committed to this, to the conditioning, to living in excellence, to upgrading your identity, to upgrading your confidence, to never choosing to give up? Who could you be in 5 years if you actually committed to what I'm saying? I promise this will be on a replay. You can message me, you can text me if you have my number if you didn't receive it. Now keep your eyes closed. We're going to do one last thing. Fast forward 5 years ago, 5 years today, or 5 years from today. Who won't you be if you don't do this? What's at stake here? What is at stake here? This is your life. This is your future. This is everything. This is your happiness. This is your peace. This is your purpose. This is your fulfillment. This is not just some free workshop that you guys came across, either because some of you already know and like me, or because you thought it was interesting. This was a wake-up call that things will not change if you don't change. And change doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be grueling. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a grind. It doesn't have to be painful. We don't have to suffer. You are meant for greater things and you know it. Otherwise, your destiny, your timeline would not have put you on this call. So, can you guys recommit to your goals? Recommit to the future version of you for this next year at least. And when you feel like you're drowning, when you feel like it's not working, when you've given it your all and you still don't see external changes yet, what do? You condition, you recommit, you visit this if you need to. Okay? This Lunar New Year gives you your best chance to start over. So do it. All right, guys, that is what I have for you today. I am offering help for those who felt drawn to work with me. Thank you, Kristen. I can leave a link in the chat if you decided you wanted to work with me and make sure that you actually hit these goals. Schedule a call. If not, I wish you guys the best of luck. Maybe I'll see you guys at the next free training. For some of you, it was great to see some familiar faces. And for all of you newbies, it was so nice to have you here. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll leave some music playing on the way out just in case you guys want to schedule a call with me. Take care, guys. Yes, thank you, Zenobia. Bye, guys.